So my sister's going through a divorce, and that makes my mom think she can just take my car and give it to my sister because apparently she needs it more and I make more money. Yeah, that's because I set my life up to make more money and I'm not making the mistakes that she's making. Let me start from the beginning.
I want to start this off with a hypothetical scenario. Let's say you have a sibling who you have not had the best relationship with since childhood. You still love them and care about them as you do for family, but they're not in your good books. Also, let's add that for quite a few years you have not had good communication with them. Now, let's just say that siblings go through a really bad thing, right? Whether it's their fault or not, they're devastated. You would obviously help them out still, right? Your sibling? There's no debate on that, but what if, after you've been helping them, they start demanding more and more and more? And now they want the one thing that's the most precious thing to you. Would you still give it to them? That's the answer that I want from you guys. I mean, for real. I guess I should explain myself more clearly. My name is Christine. I'm 36, female. And the reason I'm here is my sister Ashley, 34, until a few months ago was my greatest person in my life. I mean, my life was great. I work a great job that pays me well and live with my boyfriend Liam, who I was hoping was going to propose in a few weeks, but now I hope he doesn't. I don't want to be engaged while I'm in this mess. Liam is the best boyfriend ever, and I want to spend my whole life with him. Sorry, I can't just brush past him without telling everyone how great he is. Now, focusing on the important details. So, I apologize for this, but I have to tell you a bit about my childhood to understand the relationship I have with Ash. Ever since we were kids, Ash has always been the troublemaker for both me and my parents. And I've always tried my best to put out the fires that she started and save her from trouble. But when your sister herself is trouble wrapped up in a human body, it's pretty impossible to help. Ash has never, ever listened to me. Never listened to my parents or anyone who's tried to help her. That's why she's always in so much trouble. Now, before you guys come at me with pitchforks, I'm not going to blame her for what's currently going on in my life, or her life. I mean, it could be her fault, but I don't care about that because I've only been trying to help her. It's funny thinking back because that's what I usually do all the time. Try to help my sister. But she never listened and never cared. She actually got me in trouble many times, and I suffered a lot of pain because of her. But I never hated her or anything like that, because I believed that she would grow out of it and we would become the best of sisters who would always help each other. So unfortunately, that remained more of a childhood dream, because Ash just grew to be more troublesome. One thing I remember hating was how much our parents supported her, especially my mother, Lauren, who, not surprisingly, is still doing the same thing to this day. But I learned to deal with that and accepted the fact that I was born with responsibility of being an older child. While I focused on studies and later building a good career, my sister ran around doing whatever she wanted to. She didn't go to college and just wasted her youth doing stupid stuff. Believe me, I tried my best to help her, but as I already mentioned, she did not respect me enough to take my advice. She never hated me, but I don't think she ever loved me, or she was just great at hiding it. So, as you can probably guess, we did not grow up to have the best relationship. After college, I focused on work while she ran away with a guy that she fell in love with and got married. Our parents were originally against it, but agreed after realizing how good of a guy Tony was. I remember thinking that Ash was born with great luck, because not only Tony was a great guy who earned good, he was also blind enough to marry her. Believe me, I'm not trying to diss my sister, but she was not a person anybody would want to marry at that point. Then I moved away for work. I met my boyfriend Liam and focused on building my own life. Ash called from time to time, but it was never to check up on me or catch up, as it was always about needing help. She used to only call me if she needed some extra money on the side or if she needed, me to do something. I helped whenever I could and tried my best to be a good sister, even though Ash never showed sister qualities. Even after getting married and moving away, she still caused my parents trouble from time to time, and I remember begging my parents many times to stop helping her. I'll just give you one example because this is already getting too long. when she invested a good amount of her husband's money into a friend's business, which obviously did not work, so instead of making her own up to her mistakes and learning, our parents bailed her out by paying for her loss. I mean, I don't want to blame them because they are also my parents and I turned out just fine. But sometimes I think they also played a small part in turning Ash into what she is now. So let's jump into the real issue. So, until about 2 months ago, Ash was married and had 4 beautiful kids. She still has the kids, Ellie, June, and twins, Apollo and Artemis. I don't even know enough to talk about how our marriage was, but as I believe that Tony, her husband, is a great guy, I think it was good. So imagine my surprise when 2 months ago my mother calls me and just tells me that Ash and Tony are splitting up. She told me that allegedly Ash had found out that Tony had been sleeping around in his office, and when she discovered that, they split. She told me that Ash was coming home and needed me to support her. This is going to make me look really bad, but I seriously asked her to think about this once. I asked her not to trust my sister so easily, as she's been known to bend the truth. I did not think that she was lying or anything, but I just wanted her to be careful. Knowing how my sister is, I did not take it very seriously at first. But I was wrong. It was very serious. When she came home, all of us saw how devastated she was because of the split, and having 4 children with her simply did not help. She refused to talk about any details about what happened with Tony because I told her I did not think Tony was that sort of guy. I kinda still don't. I think they split because of some other reason, and the fact that when I told her I would confront her, she stopped has made me a bit suspicious. But that does not matter at all right now. For the past 2 months, both my parents and my mission has been to keep her as happy as possible as she has gone through a terrible thing and is incredibly depressed. Now again, I was still a bit skeptical about her story. But I could not ignore her when she was in such pain, and I obviously love my nieces and nephews, so I tried my best to help her as much as I could. Even Liam came in once in a while to play with the kids and help her go through this. As the weeks passed, my sister became more and more demanding, and I did whatever I could to make her happy, and so did my parents. Now, let's come to the main problem a few weeks ago. My sister asked to take my Mustang for a ride, and I let her drive in peace. She drove around for hours and loved the car, and I was happy and told her, how I had always dreamt of buying this car. And it became a reality about a year ago. She didn't listen to my story and asked me if she could keep it for a few weeks, and I told her that if I could, I would, but I had to travel a lot and needed my car. Then she brought up the fact that my boyfriend also has a car and mostly works from home, so I could use his and let her keep it. She begged me to give it to her for 2 weeks, and I started feeling bad, so I let her. But 2 days ago, when I asked her to give me my car back, she outright refused. She told me that I could buy another one if I wanted, and she needs this one more than me. Well, I told her her situation did not demand a car, and if she needed one, our parents had it. I told her I was not, giving her my car out of sympathy, and she starts to cry and ran to my parents. You know the worst thing? My parents, especially my mother, supported her and told me just do as she said. Mom told me that she's very vulnerable now and that I should do what she wanted as she was my sister and was going through a heartbreaking thing. I told her none of it was my fault and that I was trying my best to help her out, but I was not going to give up my car. Then we argued for a while and my sister kept refusing to give me my car back. So yesterday, when my sister had gone out with the kids, I came home and just took the car. Now, my mom is calling me non-stop, asking me to give it back, as she has been crying over it. She's making me feel like I split her up or something, and honestly, even though I am right, I feel bad about it. So I wanted to know from you guys, am I wrong here? Did I do anything wrong by taking back my car? Please don't tell me to give her my car because I'm not doing that. Update number 1. Hey guys, so it's been over 2 weeks since my last update, and things have gone from bad to worse. I want to start this by defending myself from all the criticism I receive from some of you guys. Contrary to popular belief, I do love my sister, and I do want to help her, but I will never give my car to her. That's just utterly impossible. Now, for the people telling me that I'm being selfish, I don't care. Only I know how much I've worked and dreamt to have this, and I'm not letting go. Plus, my sister does not even care about the car, and she wants, it's the feeling of taking something precious from me because she knows it's going to make her happy. You don't believe me, but by the end of the update, I bet you will. Also, last time I was in such a hurry, I forgot to explain just how valuable my Mustang is to me. So let me tell you a bit. Actually, from a very young age, I've loved vehicles. I remember begging my father to get a better one, but he never believed in good-looking or running cars. And he was right in buying a family vehicle, as it was the best choice for us. But I wanted something good, something that could run when it needed to. So ever since I first saw a Mustang, I've been obsessed with it. I never wanted to make my parents buy me one because we were not exactly a well-earning family at that point. But I promised myself that I would work extremely hard and buy the best model available of this beauty. And after years and with the support of my loving boyfriend, I bought my dream vehicle a year ago. I never had unrealistic dreams, and the Mustang is no supercar or anything like that, so I knew I would be able to buy it someday. But it still felt like a miracle. The car to me is absolutely precious. It's like a child. I genuinely don't know if I'm ever going to sell that vehicle, even if I can't drive it anymore. So now that you understand how much that car actually means to me, you know why I could not just hand it over to her. I surely wish my mom would have understood my position, but she did not. Even my dad understood it, but maybe because he's a man and has the feelings I have for his car or something like that. But Mom did not and kept insisting that I just give her my car. And my sister kept begging me, making me feel so guilty. So after a week of my post, I went to visit them and had a conversation explaining that I couldn't do this. Obviously, everything went south pretty soon, and I even gave my sister an option. I told her that I could buy her a great used vehicle or even an affordable new one if she wanted. But it turns out that she had fixed her eyes on mine and kept insisting that I give her my car. Can you believe it? After everything that I've done for her, she refused to listen to one thing that I told her. I then lost it, as I was too frustrated with everything and the guilt was getting to me. I told my mom to shut up and told my sister that she was the most ungrateful person ever. She wanted my car just because it was important to me. I then went on a minute-long rant which ended with her in tears. Then she told me that she wanted the car because she liked how it looked and it made her forget everything that was happening around her. Obviously, after that, Mom kicked me out, and after that, I decided to not go home for a while and spent last week working hard. Today, I went out with friends for a while, and when I came back, guess what I found out? My mom came to my home and tricked my boyfriend into giving her the vehicle, and she stole it from my sister. Or my sister made her steal it, I should say. It's the same dang thing, honestly. I've called both of them several times, but they're not picking up. So first thing tomorrow, I'm going to go home and take my vehicle back. And while I don't know what I'm going to do next, I'm still working on it. I'm very mad right now. I mean, who does this? Update number 2. Hey guys. So it's been a week and a lot of things have happened. I've decided to do something that I don't think I'm going to be proud of, but I feel like I need to do it. Let me just explain what happened. So, the day after my last update, I ran to my parents' house to confront them about stealing my car. As you guys probably know, I was very mad with what they've done. And Dad was the only one who picked up my call. He had no idea what happened, and Mom had told him I decided to just give it to her. I told him it was not true and that she had actually stole it. And he could not believe it as well. The most unbelievable thing about all of this was my mom denying that she had anything to do with taking my car. She tried to actually play dumb. I don't know what she was smoking, because my boyfriend gave her the keys and my car was in the garage, and I couldn't believe the stunt that she was trying to pull. Before that, I guess I should elaborate on what really happened, since I did not explain much last time. So while I was out, my mother came to my house and met me with my boyfriend, and she told me that she was there to take her stuff and asked him to give her my keys for a while. And now, I had told Liam a bit about the issue I was facing, but I had not told him much. Well, he was so worried and busy with work, and I did not want to trouble him with this issue. Plus, he already did not like my sister much, and I didn't want him to hate her. She then tricked him and told the car, and, well, she took it. And when he found out about it, he was so surprised he simply could not believe it. He wanted to come with me, but I decided to go alone. So, I confronted Mom and Ash, and Dad was absolutely livid. And, you won't believe how livid he was. He kept telling them that everything they were doing was so wrong, and both of them refused to accept their fault. I actually told them that I had enough of it, and that I was just going to take my keys and leave and not come home for a while. But they just refused, and they would not give me my keys back. When I threatened to do something about it, Ash said something that shocked me. She told me that I wasn't getting it back until I paid Mom back for something I owed her too. I couldn't understand what she was talking about and looked at Mom, and she looked really guilty. It looked like she did not want to do this, but was moving forward with it for the sake of my sister. She was talking about the money my parents had given me when I was buying my house. But that was not some money that I had asked them for or anything, that they had given it to me as a gift. Just like they had given my sister a lot of money when she moved away with her husband. I was in disbelief that they were bringing this up, and I asked my mom if she was really saying this, and she said yes. My dad was just as shocked as me and came into the middle of it and told me it was a gift, and that there's no reason for me to pay it back. He screamed at my mom, but she refused to listen to him and told me that it was her money, and she needed it back or they would be keeping that vehicle, whether I like it or not. I obviously can't pay her the money, so I had to leave. But that has made me so mad, and it's been about a week, and I've decided to do something. I'm going to take revenge on my sister and take back the car. I don't care if she's in pain. It's not fair. I'm doing it. I'll let you guys know how this goes next. Update number 3. Hey guys, this is it. Thanks for supporting me throughout all of it, and it's been a few months since my updates. I almost didn't write another one because of what happened, and I'm not sure if you're going to like what I did. I apologize in advance for what you're about to read. So after my last update, the first thing I did was come up with a good plan on what I could do. Then it came to my head that I could start by contacting Tom, my sister's ex-husband, as he could give me more insight about the whole thing. Now, I also had another plan, which was to collect evidence of my sister neglecting her children. As, well, she was fully dependent, absolutely on her parents to look after them and rarely consulted. I just wanted to use this to get my vehicle back. But as soon as I spoke with Tom, my plan immediately changed. I went through a lot of hoops to contact him, and when I asked him what happened, he was surprised that I had no idea. He believed that I was in on what she had done to him. We met, and after I explained what happened to me, Tom told me that Ash, well, what she did to him, which was 1,000 times worse. So, guys, get this. It turns out Tom had caught Ash with someone but had no proof. After they had a big fight, she knew Tom was not going to forgive her, so she decided to make up fake evidence to get custody of the children. She knew that this was Tom who would have to pay her, and it would hurt him to not have full custody of the kids. He told me how worried he feels that they're with her, and he hates that he let her do that to him. You could see that he was telling the truth. There was real pain behind his eyes. So I made a slight modification to the plan and told him that I was going to help him get his kids back. Also, I made this decision because he was going to take a lot better care of them than my sister, who just drank all the time. So, a few weeks later, I went home and apologized for being selfish and asking my sister to keep the car. She was jumping with joy and also apologized for her behavior, and so did Mom. Then I began to collect evidence of her neglecting the kids. Wouldn't take care of them, and can you believe that one day she just forgot to pick up Ellie from school as she had to wait for hours? Ash was a horrible mother and did not want to take care of the kids. Do you know, how I know this? Because she told me herself. After about 2 months of helping her, she had gotten closer to me and started sharing things with me. like how she wanted to live the bachelor life again and wanted a restart. I could not believe it. But I didn't say anything as I was recording and agreed with her views. Then after a few more weeks, I told her. Tony had contacted me and trying to tell me the truth, and since I trusted her, I came to her first. I asked her to tell me what happened, and she did. She asked me to promise not to tell anyone and then told me what actually happened. She just genuinely opened up and told me how she made a mistake and lied about it and made it worse, and now life was punishing her. And with that, I had everything I needed. And the week I sent all the evidence to Tom, who did not even get a chance to do anything. That's because my sister herself made our job so easy. She got caught, drunk driving with her twins in the back seat. So as the irony was hot, Tom hit it with a hammer. All that hot iron and the proof that got back the custody of the children. Ash had to pay a huge fine and got cut off from any sort of alimony that she was receiving from him. Mom, after seeing what happened, gave me my car back and apologized to me. But just a day later, she found out that it was me who did all this, and Ash was unbelievably upset, but this time there was no sides taken. They first decided to kick Ash out for doing everything that she did, which was fair, and asked her to never ever show her face again. Ash kept trying to hit me and kept screaming that I ruined her life. After Ash got kicked out, my mom got really mad and told me that what I have done was wrong. I told her that my sister was the wrong person to raise the kids, and she knew it too. When she kept refusing to see the truth, I decided to cut her off. And this made Dad so mad, so I cut him off too. Now, I can't stay mad at my father, so obviously I'm going to call him after some time, but I never want to talk to my mom or sister again. And it's been over a few weeks since everything I mentioned happened. But now I've started to feel bad about what I did. My boyfriend thinks it's fine as my sister deserved it, but I feel like I separated her kids from not only her, but my parents and me too. Tony has promised that they'll come and visit, but I still feel bad. Did I do the right thing? I mean, what would you have done?